Hi, first day of June, first day of winter. It's it's plus 1 degree outside. It's 9:30 in the morning. There's snow on the hills around Canberra and we're experiencing a few snow flurries right now. So what I'm going to do is just give you a quick rundown on Angel Flight missions from start to finish. I hope you find this interesting. Ciao! Now for me personally, mission planning starts a few days before, or actually up to a week before, looking at the long-term forecast, making sure there's no gotchas. And for that I look at the BOM website, Bureau of Meteorology, and just to check out both the departure airport like Canberra, where I'm going, picking up passengers, where I'm heading, and basically what it looks like. Now in this case, we're looking at a departure for Tuesday the 7th of June. Now this weather doesn't look very promising actually. A minimum of 1, maximum of 9, possibility of rainfall 30%, partly cloudy, medium chance of showers, winds 25 to 35 kilometres an hour, tending northwesterly, 15 to 20 later in the day. The thing that really concerns me, this wind, looks like there's going to be some turbulence over the mountains, but this concerns me. Partly cloudy, 1 to 9. What I'm looking at here is a possibility of icing in Canberra in wintertime. That's a very real possibility. So I would be having second thoughts about this mission straight up, but just pretend it's all clear. It's about 20 degrees, no cloud forecast, so things are looking good. I also look at where I'm going, and 9 times out of 10 I'm heading to Sydney. So we'll just bring Sydney up here. Here we go. Again, if we're looking at, say, Tuesday, 8 to 16, partly cloudy, winds 15 to 25, nothing really of concern there. So right now, setting aside the fact that Canberra looks terrible, but if it didn't, I'd say, okay, let's go ahead and do this. And next thing is to plan the flight. I use Oz Runways. I know other people use another program. Because I'm so used to Oz Runways, I just use Oz Runways. So I do the flight plan itself, make sure there's no special procedures. Now in Bankstown there's a special procedure or required procedure for going into Bankstown, so I make sure that's on my flight plan. And here it is, basically from Canberra up to Ackmere and then to Wattle and then inwards. And that's one of the procedures in the ERSA that's required for IFR flights into Canberra. Once that's done, I basically have everything ready to go for the morning. Invariably, there are no flights out of Canberra. I'm normally picking people up from other places and taking them to the city. So whether it be Melbourne or Sydney, I pick people up from places other than Canberra. And so I make sure that my departure time out of Canberra is good to pick up the passenger or passengers at the required time to get them to wherever they're going in time. Sometimes it's an early departure. I may consider going down the night before, depending on weather. More often than not, though, it's probably about a 7:30 departure out of Canberra to pick folks up. Mallacoota, Albury, places like Hay require an early start or an overnight stop. So on the day of the flight, my personal preference is to get out to the airport as early as possible because I don't want to feel rushed. I think that's an important thing. That's for me personally. I like to get to the airport a good hour and a half before departure time so I can get the aircraft out, give it a good pre-flight. If it's an early morning departure, I go out the previous evening to get the covers off, do a pre-flight. So the following morning I would do another pre-flight, and but it wouldn't take as much time. So that's it. And then there's the mission, picking the people up. They're usually, invariably very appreciative of the service. They're always quite happy to see us, and I get them in to the aircraft and off we go. Now, one of the considerations before bidding for a flight on Angel Flight is to make sure that your aircraft can actually take the passengers. Sometimes they require high wing because of mobility issues. Sometimes they prefer club seating. With the Mooney, I'm fairly restricted as to the size of the passengers. That is getting into the door. I've actually removed the front seat, the front co-pilot seat, so it's easier for folks to get in and out. But of course, there's a weight thing. Some of the passengers can get very, very heavy. So if I have a personal limit of anything above 170 kilos that's combined, then I won't bid for it, because I like to have full fuel out of Canberra, and at full fuel, 160, 170 kilos of passenger and baggage, and we're good to go. So anything heavier than that, I just don't bid for it. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned is that Angel Flight insists that you cancel the flight if there's any medium to heavy turbulence forecast. That's for the comfort of the passengers. And Angel Flight also insists, and this is a very good thing, that if there's any issues that I as a pilot feel may compromise the mission safety-wise, then they expect us to cancel. And I have cancelled 1 or 2 trips because the weather just didn't look safe. Crosswind exceeded the demonstrated crosswind on my Mooney in one occasion, so I cancelled the trip. They prefer you do that rather than press on and put the lives of yourself and the passengers in danger. So that is a good thing. They're a safety culture organisation, and I certainly appreciate that. Now, after the mission, or a few days after the mission, Angel Flight sends a request for a post-mission report, and also request receipts for any fuel used. Now, because I head out of Canberra with full fuel, it's really easy, because when I get back, the Mooney has a pretty good fuel load, so I can usually do a mission there and back without needing to refuel. So I just fill up with gas, take the receipt, take a photo of it, and send it back to Angel Flight, and they reimburse me for the fuel. I usually do a fairly comprehensive post-activity report or post-mission report. If there are any issues with mobility or anything like that, there hasn't been so far, but if there are any issues, put it down so that they know in future with that particular passenger if there are issues, so that they can address those issues and accommodate the passenger better next time. So that's basically it. That is the Angel Flight process. They're a great organisation. It's really personally rewarding to do this. I feel after every mission that I've made a difference. And the way I look at it is that I'm being enriched by this experience as well. I get to fly my plane, I get fuel reimbursed, and I really enjoy it. The passengers don't have to put up with long road trips to the city to get their treatment, so they get benefit out of it as well. It's really a good organisation, and I really enjoy flying for them. So I hope that gives you a few details and a bit of information on Angel Flight. Anybody thinking of volunteering, you do need a minimum of 400 hours, and I think 200 or 250 hours in command. I'm not too sure, but it's on the Angel Flight website. So yeah, there you go. Hope you found it interesting. That's Moby. See ya.